Chance to look over the agenda for tonight? Any additions or corrections?
Just
No.
that Chatz's last name, it was Owen, it's Ian. That's the only thing I found.
And there won't be a finance report because we gave one 2 weeks ago. So the next one will be at our next meeting. I don't have
Okay.
any statements or anything to update it.
That's fine. And Kevin, do we really have any update on the endowment fund? I mean, can we pull that back off?
We can pull it off until next month, yes.
Okay. All right. So can I get a motion to approve the minutes as they have been revised?
So moved.
Or excuse me, the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. I need a second.
Who did it? Sorry, I can't hear.
Kevin motioned.
Second.
Thank you. That was Chaz.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Onto the minutes from last meeting. Does anyone have any corrections or revisions for that?
That's the only one I was talking about. I meant that for the minutes, not the agenda, about Chaz's last name. I'm surprised Chaz didn't notice. Oh,
Oh, that I got.
Sometimes I spell it right and sometimes I spell it wrong.
I
It
know.
depends on how quick I'm trying to go.
I know. It could be spelled A-N, E-N, O-N. A lot of
Okay.
different ways.
All right. So with that correction, do we have a motion to approve the minutes as corrected?
I will make that motion.
Thank you, Jen. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Kevin. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Onward. Let's see. Everyone's had a chance to look over the director's report. Anyone have any questions for Jessica? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Thank you, Jessica, for getting that to us. And as Kevin stated, there's no finance report. So we move on to, do we have any public expression, Chaz?
Nope.
Okay. How about any correspondence or communications?
We've gotten a lot of some cards about the thank you for the tote bags again and how they planted their sunflower seeds. We got some money and donations in memory of Marlene. We've gotten a few of those cards and letters. On my directory's report, I noticed Canva subscription. I don't know which line to put that under. Is it under miscellaneous? Or is it multimedia?
No, miscellaneous is fine.
Oh, okay, that's the thing. And then you got a bills list too, I gave you for the bills.
Put it on our unscheduled bills because I scheduled the Spectrum
Okay.
directly.
Okay.
All right.
Jess, can I also get Mr. and Mrs. Hunter's address? That one was missing for a thank you card.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I sent a thank you card to them already because of
Jessica, we're having a problem.
I
with
sent a thank you card to Gerald and Ella, but Gerald just recently passed away last week, so.
Yeah,
Oh,
the calling or the memorial
better now?
services Friday.
Thank you, Paula.
yeah, I just,
Well, I went through and made sure all of the thank you cards and everything have been sent. So everything was sent except for that one. I didn't have an
Okay.
access for it. But if you sent one,
I'll give you the email address. I forgot to give you their address.
okay.
Okay. On to old business. Kevin, how are we looking for the capital project?
So Mike got the bids back in. Green only bid on the pavement. So it looks like the best bid that gets everything done is the one from Granger. And it's around $70,000. So I'm meeting with Mike. I'm just waiting for him to confirm the time to go through it, figure out what else we might need to incur, and then we'll bring it to the board for a vote.
Okay. And did you get my email from earlier about Mike Kassler?
I have not checked my email since this morning.
So Mike Kassler brought up about not having it blacktopped this year, getting all the work, the drainage all repaired and having them build the parking lot and mill it, but not blacktop it until next spring, in the event that if something goes wrong with the new drainage or if there's a failure somewhere or a leak, then they don't have to rip up all that new blacktop to get to it to fix it. And I said,
Drainage is,
got to check with Kevin as far as the grant requirements on that.
okay, so number one, the drainage isn't going underneath the parking lot at all. The
Okay.
drainage is going straight down the lot, and that is going to complicate something else that I'll just bring up here briefly. I spoke to Dave Warner the other day at the store. He told me about the conversation between the village and the town about the town taking over the library. And he said the concern that the town has was about the parking lot, that it was going to be very expensive for the town to replace the parking lot. And I explained to him that we had gotten a grant to do it. He claims that he knows nothing about it, that the town board knows nothing about it. And he asked that we just write up a report of what we're doing and how it's being paid for and give it to the town, because that's probably going to change their mind on this decision.
Okay, now Nancy does know all about it. Nancy gets copies of all of our documents from our meetings. Unfortunately, Nancy was ill for a month or so.
Yeah, I mean, so I said yes, we certainly would do that. And he asked if they were going to talk about it at a town meeting, would somebody from the library be willing to come?
Sure, we will.
Yeah.
Okay.
He also unofficially warned me that we're probably looking at a budget cut come next year. And I had explained, I explained to him that the board had already been talking about going back on the ballot at some point in time to take the remaining part of the library budget away from the town and put it on the school board. And he said, you should let the town know that too. It's bad. The budget's going to be bad. Like 40% bad right now.
Wow.
Because sales tax revenue is down so much.
Right.
So.
Okay. I will get down and talk with Nancy.
Okay.
Make myself a note right now. Okay. So anything else as far as the capital project though? At this point, we're still in a hold.
Well, I want to talk to Mike and make sure that, I need to understand the time frame for the permits, because then, we may have to call a special board meeting depending on how soon we meet. If we meet in 2 weeks, it should be fine. But we're going to have to approve whatever contract we want to issue, and then we can begin.
Okay. Now my question, of course, is going to be where we're going to come up with the extra 20,000.
Well, we're going to have a conversation about that.
Okay. All right, we'll need to do that soon. Okay, is that everything on the capital project?
That's it.
All right. Jessica, you actually went ahead and sent us all a report on the current reopening process. Has anyone not had a chance to look that over? Okay, I think we had said we were going to leave it up to Jessica to proceed on this, at her own pace. And I think her being cautious is the right choice. They've got to be considering the staff and their health and safety, as well as the patrons. So, and I think starting out smaller, even though we can already accept, 25, up to 25 people in a setting, I think them sticking with the 10 people at a time to start with is good, because it allows them to feel the ground that they're treading on now.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I do have one concern that I want to bring up, and it has to do with the increase in the COVID cases in other states, particularly now that the governor has put a 14-day quarantine on people coming in from other areas. We're seeing a lot of people from out of state license plates, and I know that there's a certain population that we serve that are summer residents. So I don't know if that's going to affect what we do, but I am concerned about it.
Any thoughts on what we should do?
Do we have any input? I mean, what are other people doing in that particular situation?
I don't know. I know we put a sign on the store here basically saying that if you came from these states in the last 14 days, you may not enter the store. That won't stop you. We're going to do it anyway, but.
At least it makes them stop and think about it.
Right.
I'm not sure, though, that as a public library, we would be legally able to do that.
You can put a notice on the door stating that the governor has required that anyone arriving from one of these particular states should be self-quarantining for 14 days. That way you're not saying you absolutely have to do this or you're not crossing the threshold, but you're reminding them if you came from one of those states, you're supposed to be self-quarantining.
That notice is going to be the size of a Post-it. There's no door space left.
Well,
Just saying.
I think there needs to be something out there. And the other thing is if we're minimizing the numbers in and out at the same time, that may take care of that. But I think we do need to have something there.
And you are requiring face masks, right?
Yeah, except for those who have problems breathing.
You do know that the governor
That
has
need
said,
accommodation.
the governor has said you can still deny them access to the building. Okay,
Bring it out to them, whatever they need.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, like they can't come in the building, but we bring it out to them curbside pickup service.
Right,
Yeah.
so to come
If
into
they
the
have
building,
problems.
they have to wear a face mask. Okay?
Yeah.
Jessica, do we still have you? Because your face froze. There you are.
Oh.
Yeah, that's actually what her.
Yeah, bad connection.
Yeah,
I
when-
have
I think that's
Frontier
going around
Internet. Does that tell you anything?
It's not
That
doing
will
well
explain
today.
everything. Frontier is not the best. Okay.
All right, Kevin, you were saying something?
So
that's
10
exactly what Tessa's policy says. When she says accommodation, I thought she meant we would accommodate them without a mask.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
she-
that's what I thought.
Yeah, so did I. What she meant was she'll accommodate by doing curbside or drop off.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they just can't come inside.
Yep.
I had a limit of 10 people maybe for July 13th. Now, do you want there to be a time limit of 30 minutes or an hour per person unless nobody's waiting?
Honestly,
In the door?
you and your staff would best advise
feel
us on
about
that
that?
because you know how long people need to use a computer or to spend time browsing books or whatever.
And do you want us to keep the temporary hours currently of 19 hours a week, or do you want us to go back to 35 hours a week?
Can we do that week by week?
Yeah, I think that's a better choice because if you're only allowing 10 people in at a time, that may require you to extend the time beyond what you have now. On the other hand, if people are still, social distancing themselves and they still prefer the curbside pickup, you wouldn't need all that time. So
Because we're
once you
gonna do both for, yeah,
play it by
for this
how
two-
about for the first week, you do the hours that you have right now and see how that works.
Yeah, that's,
If there's a demand, you can increase your hours
Okay.
back up. If there's not a demand, because you guys are still going to need time to put books away, to quarantine, to pull them out of quarantine. You're still going to need time for all of that. And you can't
Well,
do that with people in there.
And
Here's the-
honestly, the cleaning tasks alone, it's taking me a half hour, 45 minutes before I can even start my regular functions of my job, just to do the cleaning tasks. And then you got to turn around midday and do it all again, which is another 45 minutes. I'm not working the job I need to be working. And then do it at the end of the day. It's once people start coming in and out, I will not be functioning as an assistant. I will be a cleaner.
I was going to say that's going to expand as people start coming in. You're right. So
Well, I was-
go ahead.
I was just gonna say in that, so the bathroom facilities are gonna need more care as well.
That's-
Unless we keep those shut down.
I think,
And I don't know if we can do that.
I think if you're going to limit the time that people have, you're probably going to be better off not opening the bathroom.
Right.
And the other thing I was going to say is if you're going to have a substitute checking masks and things when people come in, I think at least at the beginning, we should probably take people's temperatures.
Hmm.
No, I can't do that.
No, we can have a
I
substitute.
can't take patrons. I don't think they're allowed to do that either.
No,
Take
patrons are like
patrons.
customers.
It's because it's considered, yeah,
Okay.
An invasion of their privacy.
Right.
and it's like a
She
health
can-
check.
Yep. She can take temperature checks on employees and essential visitors. So like if we go down to the library to talk with them about something, she's supposed to be taking a temperature check on us.
Okay.
But if a regular patron comes in, they can't do that. So, but I think that's, how about Jessica, for the first week, you continue with no public bathroom available.
Okay, I'll try. I mean, if there's an emergency, I'm gonna let them in.
You know, obviously
Just-
play it by ear.
It's the cleaning part that scares me, you know?
I mean, if we have a substitute, then they can do the cleaning, but they would wear a mask and gloves and.
I would hope so. Okay,
Definitely.
Because I'm hoping to have a sub for the 2 weeks that we're starting this up, letting people in, because we need somebody to clean the keyboards after every time somebody uses it.
right.
So,
You know, it's a learning curve, folks. I mean, we're gonna have to play the whole thing by ear as we go along until we're fully reopened. And even then, things are not gonna be the way they were before. This is not going away. So we're just gonna have to accept that. And life changes, but it goes on.
How are
Okay.
people doing? Can I ask, how are people doing with the calling ahead and having books, delivered outside? Are they comfortable with that? Does it feel okay to them to have that?
for the most part, they're still learning about doing this. They are confused. They ask a lot of questions about when are we going to open fully? Other stores are opening fully. Why aren't we doing it? They don't know if they can place holds from other libraries or not. Some libraries are not open yet. I'm not going to name library names, but they're calling from other
Nearby
libraries.
communities.
And they drive up to us to get materials because the libraries aren't open yet, because there's only 2 libraries open right now fully, and they only get 2 or 3 people a day. So they don't need to really do curbside. Some libraries are not going to open until late summer, fall, and others are open to doing curbside all summer. That's all they're going to do is curbside.
That's all they're gonna do. So you feel comfortable though, taking these steps in the direction of opening more fully?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for that case at the Apple plant, that was kind of scary with 30 new cases.
Right.
I don't feel
Right.
comfortable with that. So
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just wish there was some way that we could have a handle on where new cases come up from.
Right.
Because there are new cases every day, but we don't know exactly where they are in the county. It just says Oswego County.
Mhm.
And they won't report. They won't give that information away. If we knew that they were in our area, then we could say, hey, we're going to back off a little bit. Again, playing it by ear.
Mhm.
And as people are traveling to our library, even for the pickup service, we don't know where they're traveling from.
Right.
Unless they happen to tell us, like most do on the phone. We know they're from a fairly nearby community, but if somebody wanted to come up from Brewerton because our library had a pickup, they could do that.
Mhm.
So
and then you got summer people coming. A lot of them come from the Carolinas and Florida. We get a lot from Florida. So hopefully we'll have to put the states on this flyer about quarantining.
Okay. We do what we can.
Right.
All right. Anything else on the reopening? Okay. As far as the lock situation, Mike Kessler stopped by and gave me back the lock that I provided, because being a residential door, the bore hole through the door is too small for a commercial lock. So we have 2 choices. If the library staff still wants to be able to lock that door and keep it locked during the day, we can go look for a retail lock. We'll have to pay for it. Or is it not an issue anymore?
We just lock it and unlock it when we go through that one door, the inner door.
now we cannot lock people inside the building. That will be a fire hazard and we will get fined.
Remind me, that door, that's right, that took 2 operations to go out. That lock has to be changed by law. Okay. Kevin, do we have some money in the budget? I mean, we're probably looking at between
Yes.
25 and 60 bucks.
Yes, we do.
Okay. I will go ahead and find a lock set and we'll get our hands on it and get it down there. So it's for the rest of you who aren't
The
aware,
outer
New York State code requirements for emergency egress say that you can't have two operations to go out the door. There are a lot of problems with our door opening. First of all, it's supposed to swing out so people can get out. If you pile people up against a door that pulls in, they can't get out the door. Second of all, you can't have two operations. And the way it works now is that lock also locks the inside lever. So you can't even open that door if it's locked from the inside. And that's not right. That's called a man trap, and that's illegal. If there's ever a fire in that building, we could have a serious issue. So we need to change that lock out.
And not to, the outside lock is
it jiggles
going to
a
fall
lot.
off in somebody's hand. It really is. It's not an issue right now, but eventually we're going to say it's an emergency.
You mean is that what you mean by that?
What's that?
Deadbolt?
Sorry.
It's an outer doorknob. It's residential. It's one you can buy from Ace for like $10. It's one of those cheaper
Okay.
doorknobs.
It's a commercial building. It should actually have commercial locks, but until the time comes that we can change out the whole openings, that's a whole nother capital project. We have to get through the parking lot first, but we can at least change the lock sets so that they'll function for what we need.
Yeah, and if we do them both at the same time, they can be keyed with the same key.
Exactly, which was Mike's concern. He wanted to be able to get access in, and there was all kinds of concern about, the staff being able to get all the way in, but not the NCLS guy, blah, blah, blah. So if we purchase them both at the same time, you're right. They can get keyed alike and master keyed, and it'll be done. All right. Do we have any other old business? I take that as a no. On to new business. Kevin.
That was, you mean the thing I sent in the email?
Yeah, you basically already said it.
Yeah. Because I wasn't sure if you kept it on the agenda or not, because you emailed me, could I take it off? And I didn't respond.
Oh,
Do we
no.
Sorry, I have like 2 minutes before I have to leave.
Yep. So does anyone have anything else? I'm trying to hurry us along so Jen, you weren't missing anything. Does anyone have anything else?
No.
No,
Okay,
not here.
when do we want to schedule our next meeting?
I think 2 weeks, right?
Want to stick with 2 weeks? And then if we do 2 weeks and then maybe the
And then
next one after that could be a regular monthly meeting a month after that?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 weeks from tonight.
Oh, sorry. Is there any way we can get an extra staffer in for the July 6th pickup? That's when we have all the families coming in for the summer reading program.
Yeah, Jess has a budget, and we budgeted it to last for a period of time, and the period's going to be shorter, so she should have plenty of money in that budget to make that.
Okay.
Yeah, for 2 weeks, I'm going to have a sub every day to watch the door, clean things, and put the holds outside. Because we're going to do pickup service and allowing people in for 2 weeks.
Okay, so our next meeting is Tuesday, July 14th. Do we want to say 6:30 again?
Yeah, 6:30 works
Okay.
for me
6:30.
anyway.
Now, can I get a motion to adjourn so we can let Jennifer go?
Don't move.
Thank you, Kevin. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Chaz and Paul are both eager to let us go. So thank you, everyone. If there's any further discussions, we can talk ourselves and Jennifer can take care of what she needs to.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Jen.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.